Liftoff.
We should come up with other things to drop in there. Kind of funny.
Right.
I think they just have to be spontaneous though, like that.
Yeah.
We can't. It's really hard to think them out. This is the same problem we ran into with the One Up Show. Was that the more you tried to plan out the segments, the harder it got for them to be natural.
Right.
You know, it's that push-pull between, like, you want to talk about this stuff, and it's cool, and it's interesting, and that you'll have a good conversation, and as soon as you start really formalizing it, it gets hard not to fall into, like, a really formal rhythm of it, and you just want to have, you just want to be natural with it.
Or you do that thing where you're like, well, that's enough about that, we got to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then it's not natural at all.
That's very true. And people dislike that, and at the same time, if you don't do that, then your show gets all...
Then you just talk about the same thing for...
Yeah, and that doesn't really do anybody any favors either. It is sort of a difficult balance to figure out how to strike. Have you seen Brains?
I just got that code, but I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't played Hybrid yet either. I downloaded it, but I haven't had
I played it. It's weird. We will talk about it a little bit, and then we'll save it more for next week then, I guess, because you need to play it.
I want to play
Dude, it's bizarre. It's really weird.
In a good way?
It's cool. It's interesting. We'll talk about it. You don't have... It's a third-person shooter where you don't exactly have control over your character, but you do. You're not moving your character on the ground, because when you're on the ground, you're only in cover. But when you're... So the locomotion system is that you imagine Gears, but instead of running to cover, you just highlight a piece of cover, click a button, and it pops you to it.
Okay.
And then you jetpack to it. And while you're jetpacking to it,
Jetpacking.
you're in 3D space, and you can freely control your movement within the tunnel of you going to the spot. So if you're going from here to here, you're going to jetpack like that. But within going here to here, you can like fly all over the place along the way.
That's rad.
Just as you're going, you're going.
It's a little bit how Spider-Man's going to work. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I like it because it's like a shooter, but arcadey.
Yeah.
Like, what was that game that Bizarre made? That was like a...
The Club?
The Club.
Yeah, the Club. Yeah,
which was surprisingly good.
It was good.
Although
It was fun.
It got hurt because it didn't look good.
Yeah, it didn't do that well, but it was like, it was a shooter, but it sort of took, had multipliers and sort of added some arcade scoring stuff to it. So, and Hybrid seems like the same thing. It's like, what happens when the people who make Scribblenauts get their hands on that type of idea as well. So,
and it's pretty. It does look good, and this idea is really weird because it becomes you can't just sit in the cover, because if you sit in cover you will get shot up. But then flying is weird because it is risky, and you get, of course, you have like a rewind retreat button. So once you've laid down think of them as strings. Once you've laid down one bound, you can hit B and it'll snap you back, and you can still maneuver, but you're still facing forward, so you can do like a fighting retreat.
That's cool. I'm excited to try it.
Get tactical then? Like you have to plan out...
There does seem to be some tactics to it.
Which angle you're taking?
And it's 3-on-3, which is an interestingly balanced group that I didn't think would be all that great, but it turns out to be really strong. Although the problem with the game right now that I see is that if you haven't... It's very disorienting when you get into it at first, and it seems to be tough to pick up and get competitive, and people who are already in, especially since it's beta, a small sample, the people who are already in and have leveled up a lot will just chew you up.
There's a curve a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a curve. Anyway, let's talk about what we're doing on the show.
It's fun.
On today's show, we have a ton of stuff, and I think that it's going to be challenging to get it all in. So if there are pieces that you definitely want to make sure we get in, then we need to make sure that, like, in the third segment we talk about what they are. I thought in the first segment we'd hit the Elder Scrolls MMO.
Right.
Because I know you're gaga for that, Jeff. So we can talk about that. You can talk about, like, are you excited about the announced DLC for the summer?
Yeah.
What's it called? Dawn Guard?
Something like that.
Is that it?
Dawn Guard.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah, the guy's eyes...
Oh, yeah, it is.
And we know nothing more about it other than that. So, Dawn Guard, and did you do the Connect support?
Oh, is that out?
Yeah, it's
I haven't
out.
tried it yet. I'm really excited to. Too many things to play. I just got my preview code for Civ Gods and Kings.
Nice.
Civ, Gods, and Kings.
With the expansion for Civ 5.
That's legible.
So what do you think the odds at Dawn Guard is going to be? Zombies or vampires?
Oh, I didn't even think of that, but totally guarding the dawn from...
I'm just saying.
It's
All right, so we'll talk about that.
Vampires, though.
And then I imagine that will take up a good chunk of time. And then Jeff's played Risen 2, and since it's a big RPG and of the same model, I thought we'd be a good spot to talk about that.
Sure.
And that'll probably close us out of the first block. Second block, I don't know, something called Black Ops 2.
Blops. And
Cod
Blops.
Cod Blops. Cod Blops.
So, I was at Treyarch for a day, saw a ton of it. I can talk about all kinds of stuff in the game. Just
Is there shooting of a military variety?
yes.
Cool.
Don't sound.
There's girls.
Don't try to be all smug like that. You know you're gonna like it.
I'm going to play it, I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to move on to the next thing.
But you know you'll.
I'm sure it'll be
That's
fun.
because you're not a multiplayer player.
I'm not a multiplayer.
And I will probably not play it, but we can talk about that on the show.
Yeah, that's...
And from there, since it also involves shooting, and Jeff and I have both played it, I thought we'd get on Sniper Elite.
Cool.
Because for some reason or other, tons of people are into it.
All right.
Tons and tons of people are into it. I thought after that
I
we'd
want to
get.
know why. I want to ask you why.
We don't really know
All right.
why.
That's
Have you
one
seen?
thing I want to learn.
Have you seen how popular it is?
Yeah, no, it is.
It's
and
crazy
I can't-
popular.
And we could talk about it, but I don't know
I
why.
think-
I'm sure it's good, but it's not.
Nut shots.
Well, okay.
X-ray nut shots.
Yay!
It might just be that simple. Although there's some fun in the sniping. In the C block, I thought we'd hit on some of the news stuff before it gets completely away from us. So some of the pieces that I have for that are right here on this other sheet of paper. The Saints Row Enter the Dominatrix standalone that was announced for this fall. The Company of Heroes 2 being leaked. The Rock Band Mistake for iOS, which is freaking hilarious.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Weekend confirmed. Ignition.
The oily Caesar dressing, not the creamy Caesar. Creamy Caesar. So what you're saying is that all the oily Caesar dressing on there.
Maybe a hamburger.
No, not Caesar.
Were you anti-control? Well, I think my quote from Taco was, I don't even want to see the Dishonored trailer. Oh, that's where it is. Yeah, you got it. That's where it is. That's where the yeah, you should watch the first. You guys cover video games? Like Call of Duty on
Yeah,
the platform?
mustard in there.